What's up, everyone? I'm so excited to share this with you guys today. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time. Sorry, close up for me, real quick. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time, and I will be honest, like, since becoming a dad, being as lean as physically possible just wasn't one of my priorities anymore. I wanted to be able to enjoy ice cream and pizza and all the things that I enjoyed with my kids. I was still lifting, I still kept my blood work really good, and then actually for a period of time, I was trying to see how big I could get. I had never tried to grow before. So getting up to around 230 pounds for the first time since my initial weight loss was a little scary. So I've been tapering down since that, but I decided when I hit 224, I was like, you know what? We're gonna try to drop 19 pounds. 19 pounds. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but in reality, dropping 19 pounds and trying to make sure that the majority of it is body fat is a much more challenging effort than just dropping 19 pounds, right? Because you could just cut your calories like crazy and all of a sudden you're down 19 pounds. All of a sudden, of course. But what I want to share with you today is the real way, the exact program I'm going to be using at 37 years old, 224 pounds, and active, very active. This is the exact plan that I'm going to use to drop as much body fat as I can, lose or maintain as much muscle mass as possible, and still eat. Okay? So we're going to go through this whole thing together. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. And I'm excited to share this with you. All right, flipping around. Okay, hope everybody can see that. I'm kind of multitasking between Zoom and here to try to share all of this information. All right, so the 66-day challenge is this, right? We're trying to drop 19 pounds in the next 66 days. And you might have even tried a bunch of weight loss challenges in the past. And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but they don't usually lend themselves to long-term growth as a result. Like, you don't learn how to live along the way, you just crash. Daggy, thank you for being here. It's been a while. I hope everything's good. Right now, I'm kind of sharing a program, so today wouldn't be the one to have you hop on. I apologize. So in this, I'm going to show exactly the strength training program and cardio program that I'm going to be using to try to do this in the healthiest possible way, as well as get stronger and improve my conditioning. Because we know that cardio is not just for weight loss, cardio is also for, or primarily for, your heart health. Will you lose a little bit of weight as a result of cardio? Yes, but it's not the end all be all in terms of weight loss. So the first workout here is called Hans and Franz. I have to bond you up. In this workout, we are working mostly back with some shoulders, some pressing exercises, and some biceps towards the end. When you see exercises like this, where it's A1, but there's not an A2, this workout is done on its own because I want you to push this one as hard as you possibly can, as heavy of a load as you can do for 8 really good reps. Now, the video's here. So every single one of these links is here. Every tutorial is there so that you can, you don't have to try to guess as to how to do these. And some of these exercises, like I said, they're specific to me. They're the ones I use. I tried to make them a bit on the simpler side, but for the most part, like, some of these are a little bit more technical. If you don't know how to do one, you watch the YouTube video and you're kind of like, I can't even set that up at my gym, pick a different exercise. Pick a different pull down that accomplishes something similar to what we're trying to do, what you would imagine. Because remember, the exercise itself matters less than the doing of the exercise. What I mean by that is, like, if you're going to try to get stronger, the fact that you're doing a pull in a range of motion that doesn't hurt you and ultimately leaves you feeling stronger is the goal. Tiff, thank you for being here. If you have any questions on this, I would love to answer them. We're going over what the whole structure of the strength training program is. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. Going through these exercises, there's some shoulder pressing. There's a lot of pulling on this day. There's pull-ups, there's pull-downs, there's some more creative setups. There's some body weight exercises as well as loaded and dumbbell exercises. So lateral raises, pronated bicep curls, so like an overhand grip, and then supinating where you spin as you come up. And you can see it goes from heaviest to lightest in terms of how much like max number of reps you're doing to 15 reps, which tends to be a little bit more of a muscular endurance exercise. So on to the second day. And typically, let's see, big heart energy is our cardio. 120 to 140 beats per minute is what I'm going to be doing. I'm wearing a heart rate monitor when I do this. I love doing cardio with the heart rate monitor because it makes it feel more specific rather than just doing to get tired. That 120 to 140 beats per minute is going to improve my endurance significantly. So it's raising my heart rate just enough so that it has to respond, but not so much that I am the only thing that your heart is doing is right? That's what high intensity cardio does. This is a lower intensity, longer duration, allowing my heart to pull with blood more per contraction. It is more elevated, 120 to 140, with my resting heart rate being closer to the 60s. But it's not so hard that I can't maintain that pace for the entire hour. You may have to drop it back more than that if this is your first time doing something like this. Dropping it down to let's say 110 to 130, may be a better starting point depending on how this feels for you. Okay, into our leg day. So leg day is done a little bit differently. This is not about how heavy you can go. It's about how heavy you can go and rest as little as possible. So you're trying to combine these 5 exercises. I lost my train of thought on another one. I'll show you on the next one with what I'm talking about. But you're trying to get through all 5 of these exercises in a row. And as you go through these rounds, you're probably gonna have to go lighter and lighter because this is intense. Some gyms, it might be really hard to do. Oh. Screen is dark. Sorry about that. Some of these exercises, again, if you don't have a pendulum squat in your gym, or you don't have a seated hamstring curl, you have a lying hamstring curl, or you don't have a Smith machine, you can use dumbbells. Like it's again more important that you're doing the thing than it is that the thing is perfect. So if you're doing a narrow stance pendulum squat, that's all about your quads. So maybe for you lift your heels up and you do a goblet squat or a narrow stance leg press because that's what you can do. It's all about doing the hard work. And these are just the exercises that I am choosing to use to develop the muscles in the areas that I want to develop. I say that because there's so much individuality to exercise selection. And if you were one of my clients, I'm not necessarily going to pick exactly what I would do because whether it's technical proficiency, training age, or just what you have available to you, I'm not going to program a Smith machine, a pendulum squat, a barbell, and a hamstring curl if you're working out at home and all you have is dumbbells. Coffee break. Okay, so on to the next thing. So because this workout is relatively short, to get through these takes about, if you're pushing yourself, maybe about 25 to 30 minutes if you're really like on the gas. The next part of that, I typically try to keep this in one day. I mean, this is my shout out to the Zennials and Gen Z, but it's a ski erg. You're doing 30 minutes on the ski erg There is a tutorial video for that if you've never done it before, but you can see the heart rate is slightly higher in this than it was in the assault bike, because this inherently is a harder exercise, especially as you go for longer and longer and longer. Whereas on the assault bike, you can just pedal if you don't want to push super hard. But the idea with this is, again, 140 to 150. So it's hard, but it's not so hard that you can't maintain the effort for the entire 30 minutes. So this one is for the movement nerds. This workout, I love cables. I love cable exercises, and I'm sure you've seen me put stuff up like this all the time. And if you haven't, then welcome to the new stuff. But you're gonna need cables for this exercise or this workout. If it takes you, so the big caveat I would say is give yourself 60 minutes. Get as much done as you can in 60 minutes, and then don't worry about the volume that you didn't get done. It's not the end of the world if you're not getting it all done, especially because if we're all parents here, like, this is gonna be hard to do. To work out for longer than 60 minutes is going to be hard. Sometimes 60 minutes is too hard. So get done what you can get done. The first half of this workout is all chest and shoulders, all of it. The second half of this workout is almost all abs. Nick, thank you for stopping by. One day I'll put you on a program like this and you'll bro down so hard, you're gonna be the most jacked runner there is. Although that might be a little hard to run insane endurance races if you're super jacked. So back to the idea of these A1, A2 exercises, because I had forgotten to explain that on the next one. So when you see A1, A2, you want to try to do these exercises back to back. Go back and forth from one to the other, resting as little as possible. Then B1, B2, those two go together. B3, B1, B2, B3, those are going to go together. Because again, you're going to be basically on one cable the entire time. And then this is a C1 to C5 is all abs in different kinds. You're hitting different angles, going up, going down, obliques, and actually a little bit of sneak in some shoulders there after the first one. This circuit in and of itself, if you have to break it into 2 workouts, you can do that because this one is intense. You can move through it pretty quickly, but it's still intense. I would also not recommend drinking a lot of water during this section of the workout because you might vomit because it's a lot of abs. Leg day number 2. It says, hi, I'm Patrick and I like pain. Now you're gonna go leg press, kettlebell swings, reverse lunges, and alternating kettlebell cleans. So some of these things you may have done before, some of them you haven't. And of course, like I said, substitute an exercise in that you feel more comfortable doing. If you don't know how to do something, you watch the video and you go, you know what? I can't do this safely. Pick an exercise that you can do safely, like a split squat, or if you can do the kettlebell swing, great. But if you end up doing a hip thrust or a glute bridge, fine. As long as you're working hard, you will see results, right? So it's short, but super hard. On to Friday fun. So now one of the things that I'm looking to do, especially because my right shoulder is starting to do really well and I'm really excited about it. I'm trying to maintain or increase my 6 rep max really for dumbbell flat bench. That's just a performance goal that I've set for the next 66 days to continue to improve. So that's why I'm doing sets of 6 there. I want to stay as strong and pushing the boundaries on that exercise as much as I can. We'll see how that one goes. Again, you've got more abs. Dragon flags, the 2 of those together is going to be fun. You can do a flat bench or you can do an incline depending on how much core strength you have. Then you're going to an incline dumbbell bench press and over the shoulder tricep extension. So when you combine these 2 exercises, your triceps are going to get tired when you come back for that dumbbell bench press. Part of that is intentional because I want you to use more of your chest and less of just punching through with your arms and your shoulders. So because the mellow incline, I want you to be working your upper chest. So if you find that you have to go lighter because you're doing the tricep extensions too, totally fine. And then these last 3 exercises here, you're doing dumbbell front raises, dumbbell crossbody raise, and a machine crunch. So you've got abs and shoulders. Big things that I want to see continue to develop for me as I am losing weight. If you couldn't guess, it's my chest, it's my shoulders, it's my back, and it's my abs. Those are the things that I really want to see pop at the end of this 66 days, which is why there's so much volume around those things, right? The things you work are going to be the things that develop. And if you completely ignore a section of your body, it's not going to look the way you want it to look when you're done with your weight loss journey. Because most people consider a weight loss journey as the number on the scale going down, not about what they really actually can look like. And a lot of people go into a weight loss journey expecting to look like their favorite fitness influencer celebrity, without regards to the fact that your favorite celebrity is 6'2" and has been working out their entire life, and your favorite fitness influencer, she may, like, some of these fitness influencers are like 4'10", but the way they shoot themselves, they look like they're 5'8". And I'm not saying that that's dishonest. All I'm saying is that, like, the way that you perceive that person online is probably not what they look like in person. And their genetics and their lifestyle all the way up to that point is something that comes together to create that aesthetic. And so what we go into a weight loss or a development journey with the intention of looking what we think we're going to look like on the other side. The only 2 things that we can control is the effort we put in and the volume that we're putting that effort into, like where that work is going. All right, Nick, thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate you. So where you put that effort, how much effort you put in is going to dictate how good of results you get. Where you put that effort is going to demonstrate, or is going to dictate what develops as a result of your effort. So if the only thing you do is run, the 2 things that are going to change are the weight on the scale, because if you're not eating as much as you need to maintain your weight, you're trying to lose, and your heart is going to be healthier at the end of that, but you may end up skinnier than you want to be. When you lift a ton, but you're not lifting, say you want your glutes to grow and you're never actually stretching your glutes, chances are your glutes aren't going to look the way you want at the end of this period of time. Okay, off that soapbox, we're moving on. So on Sundays, I'm doing a little bit of a run. It's something, I've challenged myself to do. It's a higher heart rate, 150 to 160. I'm trying to just maintain that for 30 to 45 minutes. The goal is not distance. I'm tracking my distance just to kind of see, did I go slower this week than I did last week? But ultimately, it's more about what my heart's doing during that 45 minutes than it is about how far I go or how fast I go. Because at the end of all of this, my heart will be more efficient and I will be able to run more, especially because I'm going to be 19 pounds lighter, or at least that's the goal. I thought it was funny. I'm a dork. I'm okay with that. So the leg day, I said, I'm Patrick and I like pain. In reality, I actually don't like pain. So what we're doing is, these are my 3 mobility drills that I do every single day, every day. There's another one that I'll add in periodically as I feel like I need it. But I have narrowed down the work that needs to be done to keep me healthy as I push myself through this volume. I may need to add in more as the volume accumulates, because ultimately it's a lot of hard work. Okay. Into the nutrition piece. And I know that this is highly individualized. This is what I am going to be doing over the next 66 days. This is not necessarily to say that if you are 240 pounds, you shouldn't be eating more protein or less carbs, or if you're 180 pounds and you want to get down 19 pounds, you're not going to be eating 225 grams of protein. You don't need to. but you do need to eat enough protein that the muscle mass has what it needs to stick around, right? We would need to stimulate it and we need to feed it. The 210 grams of carbs, they're there for energy, right? Like I need to be able to push myself in these workouts. And a lot of these, because they are very, very muscularly challenging, you're gonna need that carbohydrate fuel to push through these workouts. If you're doing all 5 of these days, 6 of these days with all the cardio too, you are burning a ton of calories. So like maintenance for me, if this was my normal week training and I wanted to keep my weight exactly as it is, I probably would have to eat between 3,500 and 3,700 calories. I'm gonna go through what the full nutrition breakdown is for this, as well as how I structure nutrition for clients. But in this quick overview, I'm eating 225 grams of protein, 210 grams of carbs, 93 grams of fats for hormone health. So my typical fats that I eat most often are really, it's olive oil, it's avocado oil, it's some nuts and seeds, it's some like aged cheeses, but typically like I'm eating a lot of meat because of the amount of protein that I eat. And for me, like protein or meat and Greek yogurt and whey are the things that I tolerate best. So that's where I'm playing. And then eating a ridiculous amount of vegetables. Like one of the hardest things about weight loss is you're going to be hungry at times. And to be able to fill up with veggies, just shovel in all the different colors of veggies that I can get, cooked, raw, doesn't matter. As long as you enjoy it and you digest it well, get it in your face. All right. So that's the overview of the challenge itself, the program, the nutrition. And of course, this isn't in here, which I need to add. You are like prioritizing sleep as much as possible. I go to bed typically around 9:30 every night, sometimes as early as 8:30, because I get up at 4:45 every morning to go to my clients. So in that way, that's the way I can get the most sleep. Pretty much shortly after the kids go to bed, I go to bed. So it's going to be really, really hard. But the goal of all of this for me is to drop weight, stay strong, right? If you were to participate in this challenge and you have not done something like this before, the goal would be to learn the why behind the structure. If you want to maintain your healthy weight, you don't need to work out this hard. If you want to reduce your body fat and retain as much muscle mass as physically possible, this is what I would do. Like I mean, that's because that's what I'm trying to do. Swallow, thank you for stopping by. I just went through the program. If you want to see something, if you got questions, just let me know. I can scroll back up and run through this with you. So yes, and if you love the intention of some of this and would rather it be more individualized to you, your own journey and your own constraints, all you got to do is click the link in the doc. And if you comment on this live, I will send you this link and you'll have everything that we're doing. All right. You have this link that you can click and book a call with me, and we can talk more about how we might adjust this specific protocol for you and your body and your goals. I want to go more into the nutrition overview. So this is a document that I use through Precision Nutrition because I have multiple certifications within this group. This is a document that I share with my clients as a jumping off point for a conversation about nutrition. So using this calculator, we print out this guide, right? I'm playing with names here. Obviously not that name's staying, but this one. This is the overview of what this looks like. So determining your unique needs. I'm 37 years old. When I started this challenge a couple days, about a week ago, I was 224.1 pounds. I'm 6 feet tall. There's nothing that I don't eat other than like certain things that I try to avoid. Like I don't eat too much gluten. I eat a fair amount of dairy, but I have to use it just sometimes. I'm eating 4 times a day, and I'm eating a relatively balanced breakdown of carbs, fat, and protein. Goal is lose weight. That's it. Simple. My end date is April 30th, which might be less than 66 days now, but when I started this channel. So one of the things that we use with precision nutrition is not everybody likes to use a food scale. I personally do when I track my food. I think it makes things really easy, but I'm also cooking most of my own food. So when you're eating out, knowing that your palm, right, your palm, is the size that it's supposed to be, right? That's like your fist is about the size of your stomach before it's been stretched from food. So your palm is 1 serving of protein. So if you think of a steak or a piece of chicken that's about that big and that thick, that's 1 serving. For me, I'm targeting 8 of those a day. You may only do 6. Like I would highly recommend 1 to 2 at each meal for depending on your goal, but like protein is so important. It's like you can't over consume protein. I know there's old research that says you can't. 6 to 8 fists of veggies a day. That's a goal for me. I am trying to do that, but you also might notice you don't have to take as many multivitamins or supplements when you're pounding 6 to 8 fist-sized portions of veggies a day into cupped hands of carbohydrates. So again, you can weigh all of this out, or you can hold out your cupped hand and imagine what that would look like in your rice serving. Like if you filled your entire cupped pan and then went and popped it on your plate, that's about how much rice you need to be eating. For me, it's 1 to 2 per meal because I'm eating about 4 meals a day. And then thumb size of healthy fats. So the reason we say thumb size is because fats, while being very, very important, are also very, very calorie dense, right? It's easy to over consume fats, cheeses, nuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, olive oil, guacamole. Like you can pound these and get in so many more calories than you imagine when you're eating them mindlessly. So what we want to make sure we're doing is eating them mindfully, right? So 93 grams of fat or 6 thumb-sized portions a day. So again, cooking with olive oil. I use really lean meat like Top Round or 93.7, 94.6 ground beef or chicken breast, chicken thighs, but there's some fat in there. So I'm accounting for that too in my overall fat intake. So this guide gives you a really cool structure for meals that would fit, ways that you can kind of play with making things work for you, like veggie omelet and nut butter toast, 2 palms of eggs, which we'll go through what that actually looks like, fists of onions, peppers, mushrooms. For me, it would be peppers and onions. I'm not a huge mushroom guy. It's not to say I couldn't be convinced that there are great mushrooms. It's just they're not my favorite. 2 slices of toast. Typically, if I'm going to do that, I'm doing sourdough or gluten-free bread. And then thumbs of nut butter. Okay, the nut butter serving is probably the one that will make you the most sad. I'll be honest with you. When you actually take a serving of nut butter to what it's supposed to be, it is the smallest serving of any food that you can eat on any sort of meal plan. It's a little sad, but I also love peanut butter, and if I'm gonna do it, then ooh, Garage White Sox flag. My dad is a massive White Sox fan. Okay, so veggie omelet and nut butter toast, a super shake. So the difference between this and a store-bought shake is you're in control of everything that's in it. Most store-bought shakes, or even like cafe-bought shakes, are very, very calorie dense, and you don't even realize. I heard somebody yesterday tell me that they make a shake out of milk, walnuts, avocados, dates, honey, and peanut butter. And I don't know how big this person's shake is, but I can tell you that's about an 800 calorie shake because of all of these sources of healthy fat. And now if you're losing weight and you only have 2,500 calories to eat in a day, 800 of that is already gone. And you're probably, one, going to the bathroom because there's a ton of fat in that, but two, you're probably not going to be that full. Whereas when we build a super shake like this, we've got 2 scoops of protein powder, which in and of itself can be up to 50 grams of protein in that one shake. That's going to keep you much more full than a fat bomb. 2 big fists of spinach. Frozen spinach actually works really well. It blends up really well, and then you actually don't even really taste it. 1 to 2 handfuls of frozen strawberries, a banana. Again, it provides a lot of nutrient density, but it doesn't massively inflate the calories, but it also fits in your day. So if you wanted to add peanut butter or chia seeds, those are your healthy fats. So looking at 1 to 2 thumbs of chia seeds, depending on what your fat's gonna look like the rest of the day. So you can add 4 to 12 ounces of water, like plain dairy milk or unsweetened oat milk. And we're not necessarily, it's not that we're not counting that, but we're not gonna like micromanage that particular part because that's, again, it's not the most calorie dense thing in the world. You're less likely to go over in calories from the oat milk than you will from peanut butter. Here's a really great example. So like personally, I don't drink anymore, not for any reason other than like, I mean, there's obviously health reasons why you wouldn't do it, but my stomach just doesn't tolerate it. So for me, wine's not part of the game as much as I do miss it sometimes. But if you wanted to, you can sub a glass of wine for 1 handful of carbohydrates or 1 thumb of healthy fats. So maybe you don't do as much dressing or you don't do as much quinoa, but you enjoy the glass of wine. So now when you talk about planning your meals, if you're going to buy a packaged product, read the nutrition labels. Read and understand what the serving size is when prepared, not unprepared, because you're not eating it unprepared. I'm thinking like macaroni and cheese. Use a food scale or measuring cups, or and then I personally use Chronometer, which if you need that link for that specific food tracking app, that's the app that I really like. It has all the features of MyFitnessPal, but honestly, the free version is awesome. It's really, really great. So that's what I use with my clients most often. So this is how you look at building a plate around these hand size portions, right? A palm of protein, a fist of veggies, a cupped hand of carbohydrates, so rice, berries, and a portion size, a thumb of fat. So that's what a plate would look like. And hands are very personal to you, right? That's your hand, it's your size, and it's not gonna be bigger or smaller than it is. So that's a really great way to know that you can ballpark what's on your plate, knowing that it's not massively going to detract from your goals. So 2 whole eggs is about 1 palm of protein. So that omelet that we looked at earlier, if you eat 4 eggs, which I know that's an expensive omelet these days, but that's how we kind of ballpark that. A cup of Greek yogurt is about 1 palm of protein, cooked meat or tofu, right? And then the cupped hand, 1/2 cup to 2/3 cup of cooked grains, rice, legumes. So like if you are vegetarian, we got to look at the carbohydrate content of both of the lentils as well as the protein content. And then 1 medium fruit, a tablespoon of fats, olive oil, peanut butter, whatever. You want to track. I'm going to be tracking through Chronometer. I'm happy to share screenshots as I go through this of me meeting my goals, or days where I might exceed it. But honestly, like the process is the process, and there's going to be days that are more in control and days that are less. There's also a handy tool in here. So when we create this document for you, you can print this out and you can bubble it in as you go. If you prefer to use the palm portioning size of tracking. And it's got your goal, it's got how many per meal, and then you just check them off as you go. And print out, you know, for the next 66 days, you know, a little bit less, like around 10-ish weeks. It's not gonna hurt to go 70 days, unless you're really, you know, struggling. So as you choose your foods, right, we have, depending on what's available to you, of course, but like protein sources that you want to eat more of, protein sources that you want to eat some of, and then protein sources you want to eat less of. And I think that this is fairly logical, but like eggs, egg whites, fish, shellfish, chicken, turkey, bison, pork, I mean, even goat, camel, horse, kangaroo, crocodile, all fit in this, maybe even like elk or venison, if you're living in this wild game, tofu, tempeh, edamame, cottage cheese, all that is great. The lentils and beans, we want to kind of, like I said, count both protein and carbohydrates, because like, I mean, the same way with meat, there's protein and fat. So we're aware of what those differences are. The eat some tend to be higher in fat than these guys. So the nutrient density for how, like, you can eat more of this, like physically can eat more of this and stay within your calories than you can this. And the further we go this way, the more other calories are present in these things. High mercury fish and plant-based meats. We don't want to live in this realm all that much, because high mercury fish, obviously, if you're consuming a large amount of mercury, that could be detrimental to your health. The plant-based meats, there's a lot of stuff that they add to those. You're better off with tempeh or tofu than you are like Beyond Meat, because there's the intention of trying to make the meat or the baked meat taste like meat. They have to add more stuff to it to try to get it there. Twin Yoga Mama, thank you for being here. So into our carbohydrates. So again, same structure, eat more, eat some, eat less, right? On the eat less side, it's candy, it's crackers, it's pretzels. Like, the thing that's hardest about this is it's so easy to overconsume these things and go over in your calories, especially down in this world. Donuts, cookies, candy bars, pastries, cakes, chips, all that stuff. You're the likelihood that you're going to overconsume these, and they're much more calorie dense than something like this, while not being as necessarily as satisfying mentally. They're much more satisfying, like, holistically. I will tell you my absolute favorites. I eat a lot of white rice. It's not just brown rice for me, but like, you know, that's kind of living in this area. I eat a lot of Greek yogurt. I love purple sweet potatoes. I love yuca. So we got the Philippines and Puerto Rico in there. I love fruit, especially like oranges, apples, bananas, blueberries when they're in season. I love good bread. Love good bread. But of course, I'm not eating massive amounts of that, more because of the gluten, less because of the calories. I have to take digestive enzymes, and at a certain point, my body goes, we're done with gluten. But you can fit a lot of great stuff in here. Into healthy fats, again, we're looking at aged cheeses, egg yolks, cashews, nuts, like nuts of all different kinds. Fresh, unprocessed coconut. Oh, like, coming from the Philippines, like, I ate a lot of coconut. I absolutely love coconut. Pesto made with extra virgin olive oil. Like, these are things that you can eat more of, but of course you're still sticking to your thumbs. So the reason some of these, like the way we move this way, is there's just, like in this case, more stuff in some of these. They're more processed, they're more calorie dense, and you tend to be less satisfied when eating them. So that's why all of these are over here. Like, to say if you were eating seed oils all the time, like if you were drinking seed oil, you probably would get sick. Using a tiny bit of it because that's all you have, it's not the end of the world, right? Some people might be mad at me for saying that, but it's just not. Like, the realistic sense, as a parent, as somebody who actively has to provide for other people, you do what you got to do to get the nutrients into your body. And if you are eating in this general way and you end up here on occasion, it's not the end of the world. Veggies, eat the rainbow. Whatever colors of veggies you can get your hands on, everything from, rhubarb, tomatoes, beets. I know tomatoes technically fruit, but beets, red onions, pumpkin, peppers, squash. You can see it's kind of a continuum here to go from orange to yellow. White Jerusalem artichokes, onions, garlic, cauliflower, lots of different kinds of greens, even iceberg lettuce counts, right? If you love iceberg lettuce and you like making a salad with it, fine. Eat as much iceberg. You're never going to gain weight eating iceberg lettuce. It's just not going to happen. It'll be the other things that you're eating with the iceberg. That's the thing to be aware of. But being worried about the nutrient density of your vegetables and like micromanaging your vegetable intake is not necessary. I wouldn't be worried about that at all. If you're eating lots of different colors of veggies, you're doing it right. Okay. This is a quick guide to whether or not you are losing weight at the rate that you are looking for and what is realistic of body fat loss. So this is the biggest thing. It's like, remember, our goal is to lose as much body fat as possible, not just go down in weight. So for somebody who is brand new to strength training, has more body fat to lose, you can see 2 to 3 pounds of body weight, dropped per week. 1.1 to 1.5% of your body weight, 2 to 3 pounds of body fat for men, 1.65 to 2.5 pounds for women. And of course, if you're on hormone therapy, like, certain things are going to be different, right? Depending on where you're at in your age and lifestyle. A reasonable rate. So, and to achieve that extreme, you have to be on point. There is no deviating from the plan if you want to drop weight as fast as physically possible. R. Curry 29, thank you for stopping by. If you have any questions, please go ahead and drop them in the comments. A reasonable rate, and this is where the 66 days comes in. This is on the, I'm on the shorter end of the reasonable time frame to lose what I'm trying to lose. So 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week, 1 to 2 pounds for men, 0.8 to 1.65 pounds for women. And then at a nice, slow, comfortable pace. Niels, thank you for stopping by. If you have any questions on this, please drop them in the comments. Brian Minton, thank you so much for stopping by. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments. We're wrapping up our discussion of realistic rates of weight loss. So when you look at a comfortable rate here, sorry, trying to find my mouse. When you look at a comfortable rate of weight loss, right? You are not massively restricting calories. You have more flexibility, and you're not necessarily working out as hard as this particular plan would entail. Okay? That's a really healthy way to build a good relationship with weight loss or with weight management, especially if you don't have a hard deadline. If you want to just learn how to manage your weight healthfully, yes. If you want to learn to manage your weight like that, then this is a good rate to expect results, right? You're doing it little by little, and it's not massively overwhelming to do. Muscle gain, again, is a very similar thing. Like, you can't expect massive changes overnight. And the more advanced you are at your fitness level, the harder the change is. You can see the change is much smaller here 0.375 to 0.625 pounds per month, not week, month. If you are somebody who's been lifting for a long time, if you are brand new, look at that. If you're just starting now and this is your first program to jump into, you're gonna see a massive change in 66 days if you're consistent and keeping yourself healthy. And by healthy, I mean not hurt. So pushing yourself hard, but not so hard that you can't recover from it, okay? If you're not losing not losing body fat as fast as you want to, you can remove 1 to 2 cup handfuls of carbohydrates or 1 to 2 thumbs of fat from your daily intake, and you'll notice that that weight loss starts to happen a little bit faster again. All right. So back here, this is the challenge. If you want this link, this recap will be on here. The YouTube link will be on this document as well. So you can kind of watch this overview again. If you want to listen to it while driving rather than watching me talk for an hour, you can do that. But these exercises, these rep ranges, if you look at these tutorials, I did try to do working sets of each of these exercises so you can see just how hard you have to work in these sets and how much you have to push yourself, because you want to try to get to the end of those reps with like maybe 1 to 2 in the tank. Maybe you could squeak out 1 more rep, but that's about it. Like, I really want you to push yourself hard. But if you are finding you've done the first workout or the first week and you are so incredibly sore, you can dial back a tiny bit, because remember, the consistency of the effort is going to yield better results than the intensity of one workout. If you can hit all 5 workouts plus your cardio every week, you will be a different human being by the end of these 66 days. You will be. I can guarantee it. Stick to your nutrition, stay healthy, and crush these workouts. You will be a different human being at the end of this. I'm excited to be a different human being at the end of this. Now, I've been like, single-digit body fat before. I'm not expecting to be single-digit body fat by the end of this. I probably would have to be down into the 190 pounds if I really wanted to be like single-digit body fat percentage. But that's not kind of what I'm looking for. I'm just trying to get to the end of this and see a difference. See a big enough difference to go from 224 to 205. And this is how I'll do it. If you have any questions or you enjoyed this and you want to know what your own program would look like, hit the link at the end of this or DM me on Instagram. And I am happy to help you however I can. Right? Thank you so much for being here. For those of you who stuck around. And if you want this link to share with somebody, just let me know. All the tutorials are there. And if you want your own nutrition guidebook, like the one I showed you, all you got to do is shoot me a DM and I will create that nutrition guidebook for you. Coach Pam, thank you for stopping by. We just wrapped up. Leaving it open for a couple more questions. If you have anything that you would add, or actually, Coach, if you have advice for somebody who's just starting a quote unquote body change challenge, what's a piece of advice you would give them? No? All right. I guess we lost her. The best thing I can tell you from my perspective, I've been doing this for close to 10 years. Between weight loss, strength training, I've helped thousands of clients in the last 10 years. And I can tell you, this is hard. Oh, actually, here's one thing that I've noticed from a week and a half of doing this so far. I'm more tired. I'm more tired when I wake up in the morning. I don't have as much energy as I do when I'm eating at maintenance. When I'm eating just enough to stick at, to maintain my weight, then I have a lot of energy through my day. I'm chasing my kids and playing like a maniac. Now that I am eating less than I need, To stay at my body weight, I wake up in the morning, I'm a little bit more tired. Through my day, I'm a little bit more tired. But that's kind of to be expected. It's an unfortunate aspect of really trying to dramatically change your body in a short period of time. So the beautiful part is by the time you get down to the bottom, then you did all the things to get you there, and you can dial back on some of the intensity of the workouts, dial back on some of the, well, you probably have to keep the nutrition where it is to stay there. But yeah, that's where you're at. Right. And then this is going to be live within our school community as well with this recap. And they get access to a ton of other content, both mobility, and we're slowly adding more cardiovascular programming, strength training programming, all of that stuff to the school community. That's all going to be in there too, with the opportunity to win like chances to work with me, as well as your own personalized program up to a year of programming. All you have to do is join the challenge and stick with me as we go through this. All right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon.